It's easy, completely painless, and every screening is reviewed by a board-certified physician.
We use ultrasound to check your arteries for plaque, which can increase your risk for stroke and other serious diseases that often occur without warning, and that a routine physical may not detect.
The most important thing about my job is helping to save lives.
Our screenings for stroke and other health issues will be tailored to your personal risk factors. They normally cost up to $70 each, but through this offer, you can save over 50% with 5 screenings for $149. Call now at 800-909-8081.
Truman Talks Law on Great Day Live is sponsored by the Carl Truman Law Office.
Carl Truman's with me now. Good to see you.
Morning.
Thanks for your service. 4th of July coming up. We had some helicopter pilots in here earlier today, too.
Great.
Carl, of course, an attorney. You know, if you're in an accident and a claims adjuster says they'll pay your bills, it probably doesn't mean what you think. Carl says they'll only pay for the treatment they think you should have. So why are they making these types of promises, Mr. Truman?
Well, I hear this a lot. You know, someone will come in or give me a call and they'll say, well, the claims adjuster said that they would pay my bills, you know, so why they really didn't think they needed an attorney. And one particular client called me. I mean, she was almost in tears that she said, well, that they kept telling me that they would pay my bills and they would make me an offer. And then after the deadline passed on her case, then they said, oh, well, no, your statutes ran. We're not going to offer you anything now.
So there's really a shot clock going on.
There is. I mean, this claims adjuster literally just ran out the clock on this client or potential client that called, there was, at that point, there was nothing that I could do.
And if I could play devil's advocate here, I would guess that the insurance company obviously is trying to keep from having to pay as many medical bills as possible and keeping the window closed.
Well, certainly it's the job of the claims adjuster to protect their company.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's their job. Mm-hmm. You know, my job is to protect my client's interest. And so, you know, the role of the claims adjuster is not to look out for the injured person, not to make sure that they're fully compensated. You know, I mean, their job is to save their company money. And so if they're, you know, even though they'll say, oh, well, don't worry, we'll pay your medical bills, then later on they say, well, no, we're going to pay what we think you should have done, or no, we think you treated too long, or you shouldn't have had that MRI. So they always come back later and basically don't follow through with what they say they're going to do.
So that ultimately certain medical procedures could have been done and then you would get stuck with a bill because an insurance company said we're not going to pay that?
Well, if that injured person is lulled into believing that and thinking that, oh, well, they'll take care of me, why do I need an attorney? They're going to be fair with me. It's usually not the case, and studies have shown that injured persons who have an attorney do get more money, more recovery, better recovery than those that don't have an attorney.
All right, let's say you're in an accident and then some time elapses. You don't hire someone and you are talking with insurance adjusters and handling it on your own. You're self-serving, if you will. Is there still time before this shot clock runs out to call and say, Mr. Truman, I have some questions?
Well, there is time, and certainly we do get involved later on in cases, but sometimes we have to then pick up the pieces of things that maybe weren't done the way they should have been done to get the best result for the client. So, for example, medical bills. You know, so a lot of times clients will call and think, well, it wasn't my fault. Why isn't the other person, shouldn't they pay my bills? They said they would pay my bills. And then by then they're getting collection notices because they're not going to pay the bills up front while you go to the doctor. So, you know, some of these things we may have to, if we get in later on, we have to go back and try to repair some things.
Bottom line, don't agree to anything right away before you consult an attorney if you've been in an accident?
Well, the earlier I can get involved in the case, usually the better result I can get for my client.
All right. Great to see you again.
All right, thank you.
And welcome back from vacation. We were all on them. You can reach Carl Truman at 502-222-2222 or find out more online at trumanlaw.com.